bombing around in your GTI, girl? It's right, la. HKS dump valve. Used to have one on me Pulsar. And a twist. You don't even know what a good car is. Not you, girl. Just the audience. Do you even know what a powerful car is? Do you know what a Nissan Pulsar R? Get your twist, kid. Nissan Pulsar GTIR. H-Reg. Jet black. Low profile alloys. Dump valve. Turboed up to the fines. 405 brake horsepower. You heard me, people. Pew! Cost me 10 grand it did. On a H-Reg la. Pulsar GTIR. Oh, nothing catching you. Sat in the pazzy of it many a times. Arm to the teeth. Not worried of it. Just know you're not getting us in this, kid. Was a don't lie, you went over a few bumps, that was it. The oil sump. Oil sumps on the cars, like the fruitless, aren't they? 405 brake horsepower it was. I just thought, what the f. I was looking at all mad, like, you know, 53 plate Golf R32s. You know, in that sort of mindset, looking at all these cars, and I was just seeing this monster growling at me in the corner of the trader. Just thought, what's that? I just looked at it and went, what the start? Big grills on the bonnet, jet black tinted with. It was a machine. A machine. And as soon as they started there and it's got the same brake horsepower as a Ferrari like this, I just went, what? 10 grand, let's have a go. Honest to God, mate. They're like every gear it'll go like it's farting. I found out it's like a dump valve. Whatever the fuck was. It had a button on it. You could stick a pitch up on it. And you go, honest to God, I had this canister in the boot. Like a fire extinguisher stuck in the boot. You had a little tube coming to the front. Phew. Crazy was that? About 3.1 seconds, 0 to 60. It was one of them though. You know, it just weren't ready for the speed. They done the best, but they haven't made it. So what I mean is, look, you know when you've got a car that's 405 brake horsepower, right? Normally you would have the best brakes in the world. Everything could be strong and solid. So when you're hitting that 405 red line, your car's not all over the gaff. Well, that's what would happen with this shit. We'd bang our feet down on this and it'll be like that for about 5 minutes. You know, before it got its head together. Pew! It's like fish sailing before it sets off. Dangerous car, lad. I had some boss cars, me, you know, while I was growing up. You know what I had, which I loved? A Golf VR6 Highline. Machine, mate. Best one. Maroon. Leathered up 4-door. Stop chatting shit, lad. You don't know about the 4 doors. And like the Sirocco's. Remember Sirocco's from back in the day? Toledo's. No, we weren't a Toledo actually. It was although it was Cupra. Leon. Seat Leon Cupra. You know what else he had as well? A Fiat Tilo Abarth. That was a machine, that. Had to burn that though, because we used it in the conspiracy to murder. Had to burn that on the lake facing Old Course. I mean on the field facing Old Course prison. That's what it was, lad, yeah. Fiat Coupe 24 valve. A Bath. Fiat Stilo. A Bath. A Bath is like the Italian brand for the racing in it. So when you've got a Fiat, a Bath, it's next level. Do you understand what I'm saying? Pulses were boss, lad, weren't they? V5 Borers. All them, you know, you used to get cars by ours. So basically, what used to happen a lot in Liverpool, is you'd have loads of kids, and what would happen is, they'd go in the Auto Trader, you remember that car magazine? I used to do it, well my brother used to do it a lot. You'd go in the Auto Trader and you'd go back to salvage and recovery. At the back you've got the brown section, which is salvage and recovery. And if you look in there, you'll have loads of cars that have been crashed but not put on the list. So it's crashed but not being reported. So if you crash your car and have an accident, the DVLA will look at what condition the car's in and put it on a scale of whether it's like this damage, that damage, that damage, that damage. It'll go on a list basically, and it'll be put in a category, like category D or category B, depending on what the damage is to your car. When you go in that salvage and recovery, you've got cars that are damaged but not on the list. So at the DVLA on the computer, there is no acknowledgement of any damage on your car whatsoever. So when you blow the radio through to do a check on the car, it's not telling you it's had a crash. Okay, nowhere. And there's loads of them vehicles in your salvage areas of these auto traders and other places. And what lads were doing in Liverpool, and brother being one of them, they'd go through the salvage and spot your S3s or your VR6s or your R32 Golfs. Do you understand? They'd spot them crashed. They'd get the tow truck, go and buy it for nothing. So you'd get an S4 on a 2000 on a 53 plate, let's say. You'd get an S4 on a 53 plate, top of the range, chrome mirrors and all that bullshit that you get with it. And you'd get it for £5.5. But that car fixed is going for 19 grand, 20 grand. So what they'd do, they'd go and get that car and then just say to the kids, need a silver S3. That's what you just say to the kids that go out and get the keys. Bambooing, that's what they call it, isn't it? Years ago we used to use these magnet aerials. So you just pull the aerials out, have a magnet at the end, just go. Then they started, because it got a little bit, he needs to get round corners and started going off track with it all, didn't he? So what they'd do, they'd wait for the kid. Got an ST there, sound, I'll give you 15 ton for it, give you 2 grand for it, sound. Drop the car off, the car will be taken to a garage down there somewhere, stripped. All the parts off that robbed S3 would go onto that car that's not on the list. And within like 12 weeks, that same car, what was bought for 5 grand, will be back in the trader for 17.5. And it stands them 8 grand. So what had happened was, because loads of people were bending on that graft, there was loads of cars available for the drug dealers. You know, they're getting S3s on the cheap and shit. Yeah, they're smashed, but they're not on the list. And then there was like a big market opened up for all sorts of writ-off cars. So you'd have drug dealers flying around in write-offs that are on the list, like Cat D cars. but you'd have some kid round the area that's managed to get it back on the road, and that kid will buy it from buttons. But what happens in these cars, people, and this is fact, that's why you need to do thorough checks on your cars, and hopefully get your cars, if you can afford them, from a reputable company, you know, instead of some backstreet garage. Because all them backstreet garages do that, what I've just said to you, buy the cars that are not on the list, get them back up and bang them on their forecourt, and your bird comes in, all good interest, wanting a nice safe car for her and the kids to get them from A to B school and back. And if she went in and bought that car in its original format and drove away down the road and had a crash, she'd survive the crash. Nothing would break, the airbags are working, all this shit. But one of these cars, you know, the stability and the strength and the structure of the wishbone and all, it's all compromised. So when your bird's in one of these cars, although to you it looks safe, it just looks like that Audi over the road, when that comes into a contact with another, when that has an accident, it's like aluminium, but it just goes. Basically, your bird's losing her legs if she crashes in one of them cars. If it's in the original form, she won't. If she's in one of them cars from the salvage that's being done down there by that oily kid, she's going to damage herself and the kids in the car. It's already took one massive impact which has completely compromised any strength in the old structure of that car. Regardless of how much welding's done on it, the next impact that car has, it's squashed. That's fact. So that's why you've got to be careful when you're buying these birds, your cars. If you're going out and spoiling your bird, or your bird's gone out and she's spoiling herself or whatever, and they're going to these dodgy little backstreet car parks, you've got to understand a lot of the vehicles are being writ off and they're not safe. And you'll be able to tell, little telltale signs is down in your foot panel. You know, little mad things will be hanging off, or a little thing that shouldn't be hanging off because it's a new car. So why is it? It's because it's had a smash and the interior hasn't been put in properly. And it's very difficult to put interior back in properly into a car that's been totally wrote off. So you have all little mad telltale signs that something's not right at the front of the car. Like you'll open your engine up and one of the compartments will be loose when it should be tight. No, just little mad giveaways. Oily kid got me does, you know what I'm saying, chocolate teapot. There's loads, isn't there? All them lads off your estate that just end up under cars and you can fix any car you put in front of them. Loads of lads like that, isn't there? And they'll make money off fixing cars all their life. And you look at them and you think, look at that oily cunt down there. He's an oily cunt with a lockup that's working on 6 or 7 cars though, isn't he? Every one of them giving them money. Every hour that car's there, if it's not his, he's getting dough for it. Some proper money in you know, mechanics. And you can be very independent in that game as well. If you've got the skills, if you know how to work on motorbike engines or car engines, and you haven't got your own little garage down the road there, you're missing out, lad. If you can change, listen to this, if you can change an oil filter, if you can change brake pads, if you can swap a battery, if you can give a car MOT, go and open a garage. Big dough in it. Constant custom. You open a garage and you'll have a certain amount of custom and you won't be able to get any more in it. You'll be fully booked. Every garage round yours is working all the time. There's a big market for people to tap into it. Does that make sense to you? Loads of you jump onto bricklaying and loads of you jump onto these mad things and you become self-employed in them areas, but unless you're on contracts with businesses and big companies, you don't really smash it, do you? You can become fully successful and independent if you're a mechanic. And you've got a clue what you're doing with all types of engines. You can be very rich, mate, on the back of that job. Don't let no one tell you any different, mate. Anyway, all use real people. All use genuine people. Understand the move. Choose a life, not a knife. Understand the directions are coming. Sometimes you won't agree with me with some of my personal opinions. You know, but don't hate on me because my opinion's different than yours. At the end of the day, if you're sitting there and you're not asked about the kids, just off. If you're sitting there and you're not even compassionately thinking about the youth on your estate, just off. You're not wanted here. It's alright popping in for the jokes and having a scream when the jokes are going on, but when the serious shit kicks in, conduct yourself accordingly. You know, it's entertainment when we're joking and we're having a buzz. When we're talking about our kids being killed, this isn't joking. This isn't a buzz. So act accordingly. I don't expect dickheads to be laughing when I'm speaking about kids getting killed. It's not that space. The dynamics have changed. You can tell they have. They're not all sitting here laughing and giggling and smiling. We're talking about serious subjects. So why are you coming in here like a dickhead? Peace out. L5, shout people. Choose a life, not a knife. Protect the children, protect the future.